Ladies and gentlemen, I came here with two simple words that can change your life. Two words that can shift your perspective. Two words that can open doors you never thought possible. Thank you. One of the greatest traps in life is focusing on what's missing. We look at our lives and our eyes immediately find the gaps. The money we don't have, the opportunities we missed, the people who walked away, the dreams that haven't come true yet. And when you live in that space, you'll always feel like you're behind, like you're not enough, like your life is incomplete. Gratitude steps in and flips the script. Gratitude takes your attention off what's missing and puts it back on what's already here. When you practice gratitude, you start to notice the small wins that you usually overlook. That meal you ate today, that's a blessing someone else is still praying for. That roof over your head, that's security someone else would give anything to have. That friend who checks in on you, that's love some people are still searching for. Gratitude sharpens your vision. It doesn't mean your life is perfect. It means you've trained your eyes to see what is present instead of obsessing over what's absent. Think about it. Two people can live in the same house, work the same job, even earn the same paycheck. One says, "I never have enough. My life is hard. I'll never make it." The other says, "I'm grateful for steady income. I'm grateful for the skills I'm building. I'm grateful that I'm moving forward." Same situation, two completely different experiences. The difference isn't in what they have, it's in what they focus on. Gratitude is the filter that changes the meaning of what's in front of you. The human mind is wired to chase what's missing. That's why people who achieve one goal immediately move to the next, often without even celebrating. They graduate, and instead of saying, "Thank you," they say, "What's next?" They land a job, and instead of appreciating it, they say, "It's not enough." And before they know it, life becomes one long list of boxes to tick without ever pausing to enjoy the moment. Gratitude breaks that cycle. It teaches you to pause, to breathe, to say, "Yes, I still have goals, but right now I'm thankful for this moment, this progress, this blessing." A gratitude is not about denying the challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It's about balance. It says, "Yes, I see the obstacles, but I also see the opportunities. Yes, I have needs, but I also have gifts. Yes, I may be waiting for bigger things, but I will not ignore the good things I already have." That balance changes how you move through life. It fuels your energy, lifts your spirit, and makes the journey lighter. When your focus shifts to what's present, your heart opens, your stress lowers, and your creativity flows. You stop living in the frustration of not enough, and you start living in the abundance of already here. And when you live that way, life feels richer, not because you have everything, but because you're aware of everything you already have. That awareness is the secret power of gratitude. Every single day that you open your eyes is a victory. Think about it. You didn't have to wake up this morning, but you did. Life itself is the first gift, the first blessing, the first miracle that many of us take for granted. Before you check your phone, before you complain about your problems, before you rush into your to-do list, the fact that you're breathing is proof that your story isn't over. That alone is enough to pause and say, "Thank you." We often measure our gratitude by material things, money, possessions, status. But what good are those without life itself? You can always make more money, buy more things, or chase new opportunities. But you only get one body, one heartbeat, one chance to live this moment. And every day you wake up, you've been given another 24 hours, another opportunity to write a new chapter. Some people went to bed last night and didn't wake up this morning. You did. That is not ordinary. That is a reason to say thank you. Sometimes we get so caught up in the race of life that we forget the basic truth. Being alive is a blessing in itself. You may not have the car you want yet. You may not be living in the house of your dreams, and your goals might still feel out of reach. But if you're alive, you still have time. Time to try again. Time to start over. Time to heal. Time to grow. Time to win. That gift of time is priceless, and gratitude is what helps you recognize its value. Think about the breath in your lungs right now. Most of us don't even notice it until it's threatened. But every inhale is life saying, "I'm not finished with you yet." Every heartbeat is your body reminding you that you still have a purpose. Gratitude teaches us to honor those simple miracles that we so often overlook. Because when you strip away all the noise, life itself is the greatest treasure. And here's the powerful truth: when you're grateful simply for being alive, your energy shifts. Suddenly, the little annoyances don't have the same power over you. That traffic jam isn't as frustrating because at least you're alive to experience it. That setback doesn't crush you as much because you know you've still got time to turn it around. Gratitude for life gives you resilience because you realize that as long as you're still here, anything is still possible. So the next time you wake up in the morning, don't start your day with complaints. Don't start it with stress. Don't start it with fear. Start with gratitude. Open your eyes and say, "Thank you. I've been given another day, another chance, another opportunity." That simple shift sets the tone for everything else that follows, because life itself is already the greatest reason to say thank you. One of the most powerful truths about gratitude is that it has a multiplying effect. When you stop complaining about what you lack and start appreciating what you already have, what you have begins to feel like more. Gratitude has this strange and beautiful ability to expand the value of your blessings. What may look small to someone else becomes enormous in your eyes because you've learned to see its worth. Gratitude doesn't add more things to your life. It adds more meaning to the things you already have. You see, without gratitude, even abundance feels empty. That's why there are people who have wealth, recognition, and opportunities yet still live in frustration. They keep saying it's not enough, but with gratitude, even the smallest victories feel like triumphs. That first paycheck, no matter how little, becomes a reason to celebrate because it represents progress. That meal on the table becomes a feast because you understand someone else is going hungry. Gratitude shifts your measurement of success from quantity to quality, from how much you have to how deeply you value it. Think about children for a moment. A child can take a simple toy and play with it for hours full of joy. Why? Because they're not comparing it to 100 other toys. They're just grateful to have something in their hands. Adults, on the other hand, often lose that ability. We get more and more, yet enjoy less and less. Gratitude restores that childlike wonder. It reminds us how to be content with what we already hold. And in that contentment, joy multiplies. And here's the beautiful irony. When you treat what you have as enough, life often gives you more. Why? Because gratitude attracts abundance. It creates a mindset of positivity and possibility. A grateful person is more creative, more resourceful, more energized, because instead of saying, "I don't have enough to start," they say, "I'll start with what I've got." And starting with little, with consistency and gratitude, leads to growth. Little becomes more, and more becomes abundance. Gratitude also changes the way you handle challenges. Without gratitude, a tough season looks like nothing but scarcity. But with gratitude, even in the middle of a storm, you can say, "At least I have my health. At least I have my family. At least I have another day to fight." And when you focus on what you do have instead of what you don't, strength multiplies, hope multiplies, determination multiplies. What looks like a little becomes more than enough to keep pushing forward. So many people are waiting for the big blessing before they celebrate. They're waiting for the big promotion, the big house, the big break. But gratitude doesn't wait. Gratitude says, I will celebrate the small beginnings. I will celebrate the little progress. I will celebrate every step forward. And when you learn to celebrate the little, life has a way of rewarding you with more to celebrate. Gratitude multiplies blessings because it teaches you to value what you already have. And that value expands into abundance. Most people see challenges as curses, as obstacles designed to hold them back. But what if you shifted your perspective? What if instead of asking, why me, you asked, what is this teaching me? That's where gratitude comes in. Gratitude doesn't mean you enjoy the pain or the struggle. It means you recognize that inside every challenge is an opportunity to grow stronger. Without resistance, there is no strength. Without pressure, there are no diamonds. Think about it, muscles don't grow without resistance. You don't build strength by sitting still. You build it by lifting, by stretching, by pushing against something heavy. Life works the same way. The moments that challenge you, the heartbreaks, the setbacks, the failures, are the very moments shaping you. When you learn to say thank you even in those seasons, you shift from being a victim of your circumstances to being a student of them. Gratitude for challenges gives you resilience. Instead of crumbling when life gets hard, you start to say, this is tough, but it's building me. It's teaching me patience. It's giving me wisdom. It's forging endurance in me. Every challenge becomes a classroom, and gratitude keeps you humble enough to learn the lessons. People who resist challenges stay stuck, but people who embrace them with gratitude rise higher, because they carry strength born out of struggle. Some of the strongest people you know didn't become that way by living an easy life. They became strong because life tested them, broke them down, and forced them to rebuild. And in the rebuilding, they discovered parts of themselves they didn't know existed, courage they didn't know they had, resilience they didn't think was possible. Gratitude for challenges is not about celebrating pain. It's about honoring the strength that pain produces. Here's the truth. If life gave you everything easily, you wouldn't value it. Ease creates entitlement, but struggle creates appreciation. When you finally overcome a challenge, when you look back and see what you survived, your gratitude deepens. You don't just thank life for the blessing, you thank it for the battle, because the battle gave the blessing its meaning. Gratitude turns scars into symbols of strength. So the next time you face a challenge, don't just grit your teeth and survive it. Step back and say, thank you. Thank you for the strength I didn't know I had. Thank you for the lesson I couldn't have learned any other way. Thank you for shaping me into someone stronger, wiser, and better prepared for the future. Challenges deserve gratitude because they are not roadblocks. They are training grounds for greatness. Failure is one of the most misunderstood experiences in life. Most people run from it, hide from it, and fear it like a shadow. But failure isn't the end of the road. It's part of the road. And the truth is, failure often teaches you more than success ever will. Gratitude for failure doesn't mean you're happy about the fall. It means you recognize that every fall holds wisdom that no success can give you. Think about it. When everything goes right, you celebrate, but you don't always stop to analyze why it worked. When you succeed, it feels good, but the lesson often passes by unnoticed. Failure, on the other hand, demands your attention. It forces you to slow down, to reflect, to ask, what went wrong? What can I do differently? And in that reflection lies the seed of growth. Gratitude for failure is about valuing the lessons it brings, lessons that success alone cannot provide. Every great inventor, every leader, every person who has achieved something remarkable has failed. Not once, not twice, but repeatedly. Thomas Edison said he didn't fail 1,000 times. He just found 1,000 ways that didn't work. That's the attitude of gratitude for failure. Instead of calling it defeat, you call it data. Instead of calling it the end, you call it instruction. Each failure carries information, guidance, and redirection if you're willing to be grateful enough to see it. Failure also has a way of humbling you, grounding you, and preparing you for bigger victories. Without failure, success can breed arrogance. You start to think it was all you, that you've got it all figured out. But failure strips that pride away and teaches you humility, resilience, and determination. Gratitude for failure is really gratitude for the character it builds in you. You don't just become stronger, you become wiser, sharper, more disciplined, and more prepared for what's ahead. And here's the secret: failure often redirects you towards something greater. How many times have people chased one dream, failed, and then discovered a new path that was far better than they ever imagined? Failure is not rejection, it's redirection. Gratitude allows you to accept closed doors with peace, because you understand that closed doors are often guiding you toward the right doors. So instead of hating failure, start thanking it. Thank it for the lessons you couldn't have learned any other way. Thank it for the patience it's building in you. Thank it for the wisdom it's carving into your character. Thank it for closing the wrong doors so you can walk through the right ones. Gratitude turns failure from an enemy into a teacher. And when you embrace it, you stop fearing failure and start learning from it.